Good morning, UK. Good morning, Australia, New Zealand. Today we're going live from YouTube. If you're watching this on kind of replay, because it is a live feed straight into kind of the community support groups that we have, is please skip to minute 3. And then we'll go straight into the nutritional myth busting. The nutritional myth busting part 1 will be uploaded later, because we didn't live stream that on YouTube. If you have any questions, by the way, please pop them in the comments to make sure that they're clued in. We are live on YouTube discussing nutritional myth busting. Awesome. I hope you're having a fantastic. What day is it today? Thursday. We are currently in lockdown. So this is the reason why I have a hat. So I've got lockdown here, as you can see. So forgive me for that. Everything's closed except the essentials. But I'm looking forward to chatting today, because it's a discussion I've been having a lot in the menopause space about people who are really struggling with kind of dogmatic thinking. And dogmatic thinking is like when you are so fixed on a certain thing. For example, sugar makes you fat, for example. And the reason I wanted to talk about this was because I want to kind of debunk some of that. All right, it's that's what I do, right? As a nutritionist, as a personal trainer, I'm here to dispel the myths, bring back some food positive psychology. That's the goal of this channel, the coaching program we do. So we'll get straight into it, I think, because I want to make sure that I don't waste anybody's time. The 3-minute mark is nigh. It's really pretty. It's very close, and we're 15 seconds away from starting. So if you do have any questions, pop them in the comment box below, please. If you have watched this live, hit 5 because you give yourself a high 5. If you watch this on replay, hit 8 because you're late. And if you're new to the channel, you're new to any of my videos, hit 2 so I can reach out to you and send you some free stuff. Whether it's a free symptom journal, whether it's a free recipe pack, I just want to welcome you into this kind of space. Awesome. So a continuation on from kind of part 1, I was talking about sugar makes you fat and busting that myth and carbohydrates that have been demonized and stuff. And the next one I wanted to bring you to, which is a tool for fat loss, right? Now, we have women in our program that do intermittent fasting because it is an incredible tool to utilize in the fat loss space. But it's not even just about fat loss, it's about health, is why we use that tool. Now, if you're not familiar with intermittent fasting, it's a popular fat loss strategy. Basically, generally, the one that everybody knows is the 16-8 example, right? So you fast for 16 hours, sometimes obviously for 8 hours of that, you're sleeping. And then it leaves you with an 8-hour window where you can eat whatever food you want, generally speaking, in that. Maybe a day's worth of food in that 8 hours. Now, the research does suggest that intermittent fasting can result in fat loss, right? But it's because the fasting people, they reduce their caloric intake. They're not allowed to snack and stuff like that. And it does it by that rather than any magical thing, right? A lot of people with intermittent fasting think that it's this magical thing. Like fasting really just like revs my metabolism or something, which is nonsense. It's just a tool that we can use. Now, some of the ladies that we do that we coach do not fast because it just doesn't fit in with their lifestyle. It's too difficult for them, right? Maybe they get ravenous in the morning and they want some food, or ravenous in the evening, or maybe, and we have to kind of tailor that plan because you need to find what is working for you. Sometimes these things work for other women, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have the similar sort of success. It needs to be individualized. And the next one, I talked about it in that kind of point, starvation mode and kicking your metabolism, kickstarting your metabolism, let's say. Now, this is the biggest myth I've ever heard. Starvation mode. Yeah, my body's gone into starvation mode. All right. Now, put it in a comment section below. Raise your hand and say, if you've heard of that before. Because I know I have, and I actually used to believe this 10 years ago, right? And now, despite claims from my 10 years my prior and many other people, your body does not go into starvation mode, right? It does not prevent you from burning fat, all right? Now, if you've gained fat or you kind of plateaued with your fat loss, you can't do any more, it's because you need to take a look at a few things. Maybe you need to take a look at the nutrition, whether it's a caloric deficit, increase the caloric deficit, or whether it's increased movement, or look at your NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is things like this with fidgeting. I'm going up to make a coffee, I'm sitting back down, or are you constantly sat on the sofa or at your desk at work, right? Now, a lot of people have an issue with the plateau because they underestimate how many calories they're actually eating. Now, like, for example, you think, hey, 1,200 calories, right? That's probably what I'm about eating. I'm just probably guessing that. But it's more like 1,700, all right? The amount I've talked about, the amount you exercise or move, potentially could, especially over this Christmas period, could have been reduced because it could have been social occasions. It could have been you weren't at work and you've got a very active job. So it means you burn fewer calories, right? Now, starvation mode doesn't exist, but there is a period called meditation. When you lose weight and you're in kind of an aggressive calorie deficit, which means you're burning off more than you're consuming. Your metabolism adapts so that your resting energy expenditure, your RER, is less than before. It's trying to be. It thinks it because kind of not things means you're not burning the number of calories you generally were pre the diet at rest. So as your weight continues to reduce, you need to drop a bit more weight off, right? You need to reduce a bit more food off. You need to reduce some of the calories, or you need to increase your energy expenditure, whether that's through more steps, whether that's through another 20-minute exercise a day workout to ensure that you stay in a caloric deficit. And one of the biggest myths that I've heard as well is, and I bloody believe this, and I still hear this today, I did believe it, that clean eating is going to help you lose weight. I thought that sauces and stuff like that is bad for me, or fast food or whatever. We'll get to fast food in a bit. Put in the comment section below if you believe that clean eating is going to help you lose weight. Put clean in the comment section below. And also, what does clean eating mean to you? You know, I'm keen to see some topics on this. Some comments. Let me have a look. I'm just going to have a look for some comments at the moment. All right, so we'll crack on. So I'm keen to obviously understand a bit more about why you think clean eating helps. Because to be honest, I think the term clean eating, it just has no meaning, right? When it comes to fat loss. Are you washing your chicken? Are you washing your Snickers bar before you have it? It doesn't tell us anything, right? Anything useful or measurable, right? But the problem I have is that there is a clean term, therefore there must be, and it's a binary system, it must be a dirty food, right? There must be dirty foods, and that means absolutely nothing. And you know the fact, you've heard this before, it's bad food, right? Or good and bad, it's the same sort of thing. It doesn't teach us anything except we need to demonize this particular food, right? All foods contain calories, but we idolize some foods, including raw diets, alkalizing foods, and we demonize others, like, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Fast food, we talk about chocolate's bad for us, kind of that. Fruit, sometimes fruit's really high in fructose. So, like, this kind of clean eating brigade are confusing the functional benefits of consuming nutrients, vitamins, mineral nutrients, with energy balance, which is terms. So on all 20 diets, all Snickers happen, but it's just to prove to you a point. Another, I think that the superfoods myth is a big one as well. I think that, right, let's say you have an acai bowl, however you say it across the world, right? That's around 500 calories. You got this dragon fruit, you got this acai, and it's all mushed in with the nuts and stuff. It's probably 500 calories, maybe more, probably up to 1,000. Now you compare that to a handful of strawberries, which is maybe 100 grams of strawberries, is maybe 35 calories or so. Because you're like, the acai bowl is really good for me. It's a superfood, right? I'm here to tell you that there is no such thing as a superfood, right? That's a marketing ploy. It is simply a superfood. Generally, is simply a food that is dense in nutrients. It's not. This is purely a label that leads you to think that I can have as much of that as possible. There's a lot of foods out there that are nutrient dense, but we don't like. We talk about strawberries nutrient dense, blueberries nutrient dense, blueberries people consider a superfood, but I mean it's just a food that's nutritious, right? There's loads of copious amounts of stuff, but as you can see, right, a lot of the acai bowl, for example, superfoods are calorie dense in comparison to that kind of strawberry, right? And that hasn't been chosen by this selection panel. Yeah, this is a superfood. This is not. This is nutrient dense. It's strawberries. It's 35 calories. It's low in calories. It's really filling. It's nutrient dense. Why would you not choose that over an acai bowl when acai bowl was probably the core? Probably if it's 500 to 1,000 calories, that's half to nearly 2/3 of your day in your calories gone, and it's not going to fill you up for very long. It's not particularly satiating, right? And it brings me to the last one. Right? Eating fast food makes you fat. Something that I've been fighting the good fight. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to talk to you about a specific thing like McDonald's or something, but I think that it's not a competition, right? But I've just labeled something an acai bowl. We have 500 to 1,000 calories. We have, so we've got this healthy smoothie bowl, and it's probably got some granola in, some nuts, healthy snack, right? Very nutritious, right? People think, yep, it's going to benefit my weight loss journey. I'm on fire. And then the next hand, they have, all right, so let's call this person Deborah. All right, she's got an acai bowl. She's there. She's in a height. She's in on a pedestal. Like, look at me with my acai bowl, right? We've both got 10 kilos to lose. You've got Brenda over here, who's got a portion of nuggets and a large Diet Coke, and everyone views that as a terrible choice. It's going to make her fat, right? That fast food option is going to make you fat, Brenda. Well, really, this probably has significantly fewer calories. We've opted for the Diet Coke. We've opted for, we had the kind of the chicken nuggets and the chips, and it probably won't satiate her. It's not nutritious. And this is far more nutritious. But in terms of purely weight loss, Brenda might win this one compared to Deborah, right? You can eat fast food and you can lose weight as long as you consume it within the caloric requirements of your day. And finding the approach for you is important. We do something called the MYM method, which is a non-restrictive approach. We allow wine, we allow pizza, we allow chocolate, all right? But we make it fit in your day. We make it tailored to you that you can, we do focus for sure on whole foods most of the time, 80%, but we're at 20% that is where all the fun is at, is where we socialize, is where we get to go relax a bit with family and have Friday night pizza, right? I've seen people have veggie smoothies with the sort of calories that you find in this chicken nugget, veggie and fruit smoothies with the sort of calories you'd find in these McDonald's food chains. I'm thinking, now, I appreciate, I am comparing, but I'm not comparing them in terms of nutrient density, right? It's only to bring awareness of the caloric deficit, right? Like, I think that we demonize too much. We judge as soon as somebody gets out a chocolate bar, it's like bad food choice. As soon as somebody has a healthy smoothie, good food choice. Yeah, she's solid. Yeah, she's doing a juice cleanse or something. Like this chicken nugget one is probably going to benefit their weight more, right? But I think that and if we went kind of a bit further, that's got more nutrients in the acai bowl. But this one, chicken nuggets, has more protein than the acai bowl, right? So I think the take-home message of this is, please, if you're unsure of a specific dogmatic thinking, Also one more, which is fat makes you fat. But if you're unsure of dogmatic thinking, seek out somebody you trust, somebody qualified like myself, to answer these questions with no kind of BS. I think let's talk about the last one, because this was huge. When I was first training, I was 13 years ago when I first got my cert, and the big one was fat makes you fat, right? Now, in the 90s, this was more prevalent, right? Fat was heavily demonized, and it was labeled, this is the reason why we're overweight. And it isn't surprising, of course, given the calorie volume per gram is more than double protein and carbs. So 1 gram of fat is actually 9 calories, whereas protein and carbs are 4 calories, right? But like protein and carbs, there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest that any one particular macronutrient, fat, carbohydrates, protein, or even alcohol, stores fat more than the other, right? Now, consuming large quantities of fat may contribute to being overweight because of the caloric volume, caloric density included in such a small meal. Like if you've had 100 grams of pecans, which I don't think you would have, that's 700, just shy of 700 calories, right? But I want you to be sure to know that fat as a macronutrient is not the direct cause, all right? There are a lot of calorie-saving alternatives that you see to reduce the amount of fat in their product because fat is so calorie dense, all right? And that is not because fat is bad, right? It is simply just to reduce the caloric density of that particular meal, right? It is a good idea, I agree, to look further than reduced fat and low-fat labels and see the calories, see what macronutrients, see the nutrition profile, learn how to read a nutrition label, which is what we do inside the MYM Club, right? And kind of separate that from the marketing agendas, right? Now, I suppose on like, for example, myself, we have low fat yogurt. If we're trying to drop some body fat, or we have some quark is a particularly good, 0.3% fat. It's high protein, very small amount of carbs, and very low fat. Fantastic. Now, with the demonizing of this fat, obviously fat's been pushed to the bottom of the barrel, but some fats really benefit our health. We've got polyunsaturated fats found in fish, nuts, avocado, seeds, right? We've got saturated fat found in butter, coconut oil, and dairy products, and obviously animal fat, right? That doesn't necessarily provide any specific to functional health, but it offers nutritional benefits. Plus, it tastes good, right? It bloody tastes good. How good does I just love toast, bread and butter, right? I appreciate you should only be eating in moderation, but it's not the cause of the weight gain. The cause of the weight gain is simply consuming too many calories than you expend consistently over time, and it's not about consuming too much fat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look. Debbie says, took me a bit to work this out, but got it now, watching live 5. Yeah, I appreciate a lot of people who were watching this on replay, and that's okay, because it's an impromptu live. Remember, I wanted to do the live yesterday, but it actually happened to be YouTube waited for me hours before. Awesome. So do we have any questions before I let you go? If not, no dramas. I can see on there. No problem. All right, cool. So I will let you go, and you can all watch this on replay. Tune in for the next one. Have a fantastic rest of the week. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a splendid one. Merry Christmas. Speak to you soon.